Hey y'all, it's Jenny. I did a whole video and there was no sound. This is what I get for waiting 6 months from doing my last video. I thought it was about 3 and I was feeling really guilty about it, but it's been 6. It's been 6 months. I saw that on my YouTube page. I'm like, I'm so sorry. All right, so brief catch up, and then tomorrow I have a product review to go over for you. Lots to talk about. I'm in my usual January state, which is so overweight, I can't believe the numbers. I literally got on the scale, and when I started dieting 6 days ago, I was about 4 or 5 pounds less than what I was at my absolute highest weight. And what's my absolute highest weight? It's a combination of what I weighed when I had my third child and I went in to give birth to him. So he was in my body. And the weight that I was at the end of 2020 COVID year. Those are the same weights, and I was about 5 pounds away from that weight. I can't believe it. I can't believe I even let myself get into the category of weight, the tens number, that I had never seen except for during pregnancies and during 2020. And sure enough, I did it. I just didn't pay attention. I just let it go. I didn't care. It's not like I tried to lose weight during that time. I really didn't care. Regrets, of course, there's some, but on the flip side, I had a whole month where I had two of my three kids living at home. One's in vet school, one's in undergrad, and so they had the full 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks off. So they were home. My daughter, who lives in Tennessee, got approval to work virtually, so she came home for 2 weeks. Her husband, who lives in California, I probably went over that story in the past, but he's finishing up his final year of schooling there because he was in the Marines and he did 2 years of service before that, anyway, of mission work. Anyway, he's finishing up, and he flew in for a week. And then my other daughter's fiance, the one that's in vet school, he was here for at least for probably about 5 nights during it. Some of them were like 3 nights I know were in a row. And then there were these random other nights because they would go do something, it would be late, and he lives like in the middle of Ohio in farm country and there's no lights, and the weather was really bad. If you were following the weather, if you watched any football, you saw it. And we got hit like that in Cleveland. So fabulous, fabulous. I mean, talk about feeling like you're an empty nester. I really feel like I'm an empty nester because my husband's a school teacher, so he's back too. So he was home for 2 weeks over the break. So this was a house of 7 adults for a long time, and all the craziness and fun that goes along with that, and food. Now I feel like I can focus. I can focus on me. I can focus on what food is in this house. I can focus on what I'm making and what I'm preparing, and I can make things that maybe other people wouldn't like as much, but are good for me and for my diet. During that time, I just focused on every day making a big casserole and having extra snacks and fun food and all that stuff in the house for everybody, so everybody was satisfied and ate well and felt, like they were fulfilled. And along with most holidays anyway comes fun food, right? Little sausages wrapped in crescent rolls, and what are all the, mozzarella sticks, and a lot of the hors d'oeuvre kind of stuff we always serve on Christmas evening. And had that on a movie night again, pizzas, just not healthy food, but delicious food. And while I was eating it and everybody seemed happy, I was happy too because I was eating it. And of course, I enjoyed it as well. And I thought I will focus on the weight another time. And what happened? I got myself within 5 pounds of my ultimate highest weight. Partly, I think that's because I let myself get there once. I never got there after the pregnancy again until COVID. And I think because my body got there once during COVID and now. So I'm in that tens category. I was in that tens category, which was dreadful. And I'm now dieting. I started HCG. I started taking the drops, kind of loaded, and then did my first day. And then you know, it's a mindset. You have to be prepared mentally to get into it. And for another reason I'll talk about another time, I wasn't sure if I should be on it again in terms of blood work and that, but I'll explain that another time. So I thought, why don't I try to eat like I am on HCG without being on HCG, but obviously not being as restrictive. Not doing the 500, trying to focus on hitting 800 calories, knowing that I would probably go over a little bit over 1,000 a day. Clearly, at the weight that I was, that was going to be enough to at least jumpstart my diet and get me going. And so far, I have not been hungry. And I have been supplementing with something else. Again, I'll do that in another video and explain it to you. But so far, so good. So it's been 6 days. First days went up a little bit, and then I went back down. I'm not sure if those first days were that I went up, if I was loading during that time or not, because I didn't write that down. But I can go back and look. I don't think so. I think that I was just like saw some extra stuff in the house and thought I need to eat this up and get it out of here, because that's my mindset. And that's another video too, about eating everything that's in sight to get it out of the way. The clean plate club, that kind of stuff. Boy, I could do a whole video on that one. And maybe I will in the next week or so, because I'm going to try to do this more consistently. I'm going to try to get a couple of these out a week. All right, so anyway, that's where my journey is. Yes, my weight went way up. We are in COVID numbers. We were in COVID numbers. I'm happy to report that in the first 6 days, I am down 5 point something pounds, 5.3 pounds. Now, understanding, I'm very much aware, and I was aware when the weight was as high as it was, that I had significant water retention. I could feel it in my limbs, I could feel it in my ankles, I could feel it in my fingers, and I can feel that going away. It was hard to make a fist before because my fingers were so puffy. My feet look like elephant's feet. Like, when I eat a lot of carbs, I retain a lot of water. And so I know that now that my focus in 2023, although I didn't start until the 7th, but that's okay. Not really 2023. I was still eating up. I mean, there were still kids in the house in 2023 until about the 5th or so. So on the 7th, I started, and my focus is proteins. And I'll explain why that's my focus as opposed to other things. But along with that is also avoiding sugars. So no carbs, no sugars, no desserts. And at the beginning, it was a little bit of a weaning process into that. Yeah, okay. So I have lots of reasons for all these different things because of different things that have happened in my life and what's going on. But I'll explain those in other videos. I don't want this one to go that long. I just wanted to say Happy New Year. And how did your 2022 go? How was your weight? Were you able to sustain? Were you able to make it through the holidays? Were you able to keep it down until the holidays and you didn't gain too much and you're able to drop it off right now? Do you need to go HCG again? Go back and follow around with me. If so, I'm not going to start HCG right now, but I am going to basically eat like HCG, so we can compare numbers that way. You're on HCG and eating basically proteins and good green vegetables, and I'm not on HCG and I'm trying to eat just proteins and green vegetables. So we'll see what the numbers look like. It's a little bit of an experiment for me, but I'm serious about it because I do have to lose a significant amount of weight before I go on a vacation the first week of March. First week of March. I only have this month and next month, and this month I didn't start until a whole week into it. So I'm being serious about this, and hopefully I'll do these videos for my own personal accountability and keeping track and to motivate you too. All right. Happy New Year to you all. Happy dieting. Let me know what you're doing. Let me know what's worked for you in the past. And oh, did you hear that ringing? It is time. I have got to go teach a speech therapy class, which is something I didn't do the last time I talked to you. I was doing all that teaching kids in China in the morning, and I don't do that anymore, which I think I mentioned in the videos. I kind of took a year off, and now I'm doing speech therapy. So got to go teach a kid or do some therapy or whatever you call it. I look forward to staying in touch with you in 2023, and let's watch those pounds shed off. I'm not going to give up once I hit March. Trust me, I'm not going to hit up because I have another daughter who's now getting married again next July, 2 Julys in a row. So I have another reason to keep going. So don't think I'm gonna do this just for 2 months and drop off. Hopefully, I will have a couple of these videos a week. All right, you take care. Happy New Year. How you doing? Let me know.